Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
And first at noon, public outcry continuing over immigration enforcement in Minneapolis and beyond. Sky 4 over Plymouth Canton Educational Park High School, where students are walking out in protest of ICE. This comes after a sharp rise in immigration raids in the town, or in the Twin Cities, we should say, and the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, who were shot and killed by federal agents there. Now, the federal government appears to be moving to ease tensions there. Today, White House border czar Tom Homan announcing 700 federal agents would be leaving Minneapolis.
The president is supportive of this decision because we have nothing to hide. We want to be fully transparent in what we do. The American people seek and deserve professional and trustworthy law enforcement, and I and the president expect that any misconduct will not be tolerated. If you're in the country illegally, you are not off the table. And let me be clear, President Trump fully intends to achieve mass deportations during this administration, and immigration enforcement actions will continue every day throughout this country.
With 700 agents and officers leaving, about 2,000 still remain in Minneapolis and throughout the state. Homan said the full drawdown relies on local and state police working together, and officials there have agreed to hand over illegal immigrants they arrest. He also said the Trump administration is moving to give immigration agents body cameras. Right now, the policy has been inconsistent, with some wearing them and others not. There are also concerns about the tools immigration enforcement uses and how far they're willing to go. Some claim ICE can tap into home surveillance and license plate readers during raids.
I think it's BS. I think it's crazy. I think it shouldn't even be going on right now.
She's referring to the actual raids and not the technology, by the way. But coming up a little later, Shantae Passmore will dig into those claims and show how tech companies are responding to those accusations. That's all coming up in about 15 minutes. Do you remember this video from December? The altercation between Pittsburgh Steelers DK Metcalf and a Lions fan named Ryan Kennedy. Metcalf claims Kennedy used a racial slur in that encounter, which forced him to walk away from the bench and approach him. But Kennedy says that's not true. And now he wants $100 million. Priya Mann with the details of a major lawsuit.
I want to be crystal clear about one thing. I didn't use any racial slurs, no hate speech. I mean, none of that stuff at the game.
In December, Lions fan Ryan Kennedy denied accusations he made racist comments toward Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf. The altercation happened during this December 21st game at Ford Field.
The false accusations of racial statements or racial slurs being used causes real damage.
The NFL suspended DK Metcalf for 2 games for reaching into the stands and grabbing Kennedy. Kennedy claimed the incident was sparked by him calling Metcalf by his full name. Later that night, on Shannon Sharp's podcast, Chad Johnson claimed Kennedy used racial slurs. The story was widely circulated. Now Kennedy has filed a lawsuit in Wayne County Circuit Court. It names DK Metcalf, the Steelers, Ford Field Management, Chad Johnson, and 2 media companies, including Shannon Sharp's podcast, as defendants.
My family's getting threats and stuff, and it's not cool. So whether you said that or not, I'm sure you didn't want that to happen to the family. Even if you did, like, I forgive you, man.
That was Priya Mann with that report. Back in December, Kennedy asked Metcalf to simply clear things up, but that never happened. We're going to keep following this lawsuit, let you know what happens with it as it goes forward. Well, there's a good dose of sunshine out there no matter where you are around the metro, but you're not exactly going to catch many people out there sunbathing as we are staring down another round of snow. Let's get to Ashley and those details.
Well, as we're getting through the midweek, we're still in a little bit of a slump with the temperatures, about 10 degrees below average, topping out in the 20s. However, cooler with the wind chill still, anywhere about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than what your car thermometer will read. So more clouds than sun and definitely feeling very winter-like. And we get a blast of winter when it comes to snowfall to round out the week before a warming trend heading into next week. In fact, by late Thursday, heading into your Friday, I think we pick up 1 to 3 inches across the area. Then we're going to pair that with really gusty winds, 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts on Friday, making it brisk. Tumbling temperatures for the weekend, but not for long, as we will warm up next week. We'll give you a sneak peek in that 7-day forecast.
All right, Ash. Now to the search for Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. The 84-year-old went missing Sunday after missing church, really Saturday night in the overnight hours. And so far, investigators still don't have many legitimate leads, but there is new information coming out about possible ransom notes. Let's get to NBC's Liz Kreutz from Tucson.
Well, hey there. I think we are all hoping that by now we'd have some more information to share. But as of my last conversation with the sheriff, he says they still don't have any solid lead or suspect. It has now been nearly 72 hours since Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home, and this continues to be a critical race against time. We know she needs that life-saving medication that she takes. And we are learning some new details, though. NBC News is aware of reports of 2 unsubstantiated ransom notes that were sent to 2 news outlets. Law enforcement has not verified the accuracy or the legitimacy of these ransom notes, but they do say they are investigating. The Pima County Sheriff told us that they are sending any of these tips to FBI as well, and we know that the FBI is now involved. President Trump was actually asked about Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. He called it a terrible situation, and when asked, he said he was willing to potentially commit to sending additional federal resources here to help with this search. A big question that we have right now is why law enforcement hasn't been able to obtain or figure out if it even exists footage from the surveillance cameras at Nancy Guthrie's home. The sheriff tells us they're working with some of the tech companies to see if there is any footage from those overnight hours, and if so, if it could be of value to them where they could potentially see any kind of suspect. Here in Tucson, the community is rallying behind the family. Tonight, a local church is hosting and organizing a candlelight service for Nancy to pray for her safe return. And as for Savannah, she understandably is no longer going to be going to the Olympics, where she was scheduled to host the opening ceremonies in Italy this Friday. She's obviously going to stay here in Tucson as the family continues their search. Back to you.
All right, Liz Kreutz for us, and we're certainly all pulling for a happy ending there. A Pontiac man found guilty in the beating death of his then-girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter. Sean Amerson will be sentenced on March 9th. In December of 2021, Oakland County Sheriff's deputies responded to a medical emergency on Granville Court in Pontiac. They found a 3-year-old girl unconscious and not breathing, with multiple broken ribs, cigarette burns, and a collapsed lung. She later died at the hospital.